Jeffrey Epstein seizure of photos of nude girls deepens questions about earlier deal. Read our previous coverage of the arrest of a trove of lewd photographs of girls, discovered in a safe inside the financier Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion the same day he was arrested, is deepening questions about why federal prosecutors in Miami had cut a deal that shielded him from federal prosecution in 2008. Federal prosecutors in Manhattan charged Mr. Epstein on Monday with sex trafficking, dealing an implicit rebuke to that plea agreement, which was overseen by Alexander Acosta, then the United States Attorney in Miami and now President Trump's Labor Secretary. The indictment in Manhattan could prompt a moment of reckoning for the Justice Department, which for years has wrestled with accusations that it mishandled the earlier case and has faced a barrage of litigation from Mr. Epstein's accusers. In February, Attorney General William P. Barr said on Monday during a trip to South Carolina that he had recused himself from the case because Mr. Barr's former law firm, Kirkland & Ellis, had represented Mr. Epstein. Eric Holland, the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Labor for Public Affairs, said Mr. Acosta had no comment. Accusations of sexual predation have dogged Mr. Epstein for decades. Until his arrest, Mr. Epstein, a hedge fund manager, avoided the possibility of a lengthy prison sentence, largely because of a secret agreement his lawyers struck with federal prosecutors in 2008. His social circle, Mr. Clinton's office, said in a statement on Monday that he knows nothing about the terrible crimes connected to Mr. Epstein. In 2002, Mr. Trump described Mr. Epstein as a terrific guy, telling, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." As he unsealed an indictment charging Mr. Epstein with sex trafficking on Monday, the United States Attorney in Manhattan, Jeffrey S. Berman, made an appeal to other women who may have been abused by him to come forward. "They deserve their day in court, and we are proud to stand up for them by bringing this indictment," Mr. Berman said. He declined to say why his office decided to pursue charges against Mr. Epstein now, since federal prosecutors knew about his potential crimes in New York a decade ago. Mr. Berman said the indictment said that Mr. Epstein and his employees engaged in a sex trafficking scheme, bringing dozens of vulnerable girls, some as young as 14, to his Upper East Side mansion and to his palatial compound in Palm Beach, Florida, between 2002 and 2005. Mr. Epstein, 66, then engaged in sex acts with the young women during naked massage sessions, paying them hundreds of dollars in cash, prosecutors said. He also asks, this conduct, as alleged, went on for years and involved dozens of young girls, some as young as 14, Mr. Berman said. The alleged behavior. Mr. Epstein is charged with sex trafficking and sex trafficking conspiracy, and faces a combined maximum sentence of up to 45 years in prison if convicted. Read. Mr. Epstein's lawyer, Reed Weingarten, said the allegations in the indictment had already been settled in 2008. To us this indictment, Mr. Epstein, looking disheveled in a navy blue jumpsuit, pleaded not guilty. He stared silent. The discovery of the photo trove was detailed by prosecutors as they argued against allowing Mr. Epstein to be freed on bail. His wealth and he is a man of nearly infinite means, said Andrew Rossmuller, a government lawyer. Prosecutors said they seized hundreds, and possibly thousands, of sexually suggestive pictures of nude or partially nude young women and girls during a search of Mr. Epstein's Manhattan townhouse on Saturday, conducted at roughly the same time the financier was arrested at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. The cache of photos, some of which were discovered in a locked safe that also contained CDs with labels like Girl Pics Nude, demonstrate the predatory attitude that Mr. Epstein continues to have toward young women, prosecutors said. This is not an individual who has left his past behind, Mr. Rossmuller said. In the hours since Mr. Epstein's arrest, prosecutors said, several other women contacted them with complaints about Mr. Epstein. Several of Mr. Epstein's accusers said they were relieved that authorities seemed to be taking their complaints seriously after many years. The news of my abuser's arrest today is a step in the right direction to finally hold Epstein accountable for his crimes, Sarah Ransom, who said she was forced to have sex with the financier in her 20s, said in a statement read by her lawyer, Sigrid McCauley, outside federal court. Two other women who have said they were abused by Mr. Epstein when they were teenagers, Courtney Wild and Michelle Licata, watched the proceedings from the back of the courtroom with their lawyer, Brad Edwards. I was 14. The charges unsealed Monday mirror those that federal prosecutors had prepared in Miami against Mr. Epstein more than a decade ago. In 2000, Florida prosecutors had prepared a 53-page indictment accusing Mr. Epstein of being a sexual predator. But those charges, the agreement granted Mr. Epstein immunity from federal prosecution and let him plead guilty to 2 prostitution charges in state court. The deal let Mr. Epstein avoid a possible life sentence in federal prison. Instead, Mr. Behrman made it clear that his office was not bound by the 2008 agreement that Mr. Acosta's office had negotiated. That agreement, by its terms, only binds the Southern District of Florida, Mr. Behrman said. The agreement has been examined in a series of articles and is being challenged in court. A federal judge, Mr. Weingarten, Mr. Epstein's lawyer, said the agreement was approved at the Justice Department at a very, very high level. The statement issued by Mr. Clinton's office acknowledged that the former president had taken 4 trips on Mr. Epstein's airplane. It also said prosecutors are also seeking the forfeiture of Mr. Epstein's home on East 71st Street between 5th and Madison Avenues, which has been called. It has at least said. The government also said in court papers that prosecutors have real concerns, based on past experience, that Mr. Epstein, if freed on bail, could attempt to pressure and intimidate witnesses, including his accusers and their families. Over the last 6 months, detectives and agents with the New York Police Department FBI child the indictment said Mr. Epstein used employees to arrange sexual rendezvous with one of the victims at his New York residence and 2 others at his home in Palm Beach. Mr. Epstein is accused of having the girls perform nude massages, at which point he would masturbate and touch their genitals with his hands or with sex toys. The girls were paid hundreds of dollars in cash for each encounter and, once recruited, were asked to return to the mansion several times, where they were abused again, the indictment said. Mr. Epstein, too often, adults in our society have turned a blind eye to the type of criminal behavior alleged here, William F. Sweeney, Jr., the assistant director in charge of the New York office of the FBI. Katie Fenner, Michael Gold, Edgar Sandoval, William K. Rashbaum and Glenn Thrush contributed reporting.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.